Hey, y'all. Hey, Elena. Hey, Crystal. Hey, Allie. Hey, Sarah. You're awake and alert. Woo! I was just trying to... Why do I hear myself? Hold on.
You're awake.
Okay, I found it. I had like my YouTube open behind the screen that I had up, and it was like repeating what I said, and it freaked me out for a second. I had to get rid of it. So yeah, today's been... Hold on a minute. Let me put the volume down. Today's been a crazy day. There has been many statements that have come out about AWP, well, about Jared and their affiliations with Adventures with Purpose. I think, how many people? Let me think. So Doug was first, then Josh Cantu, Sam the Adventure Man. He wasn't with AWP now. He left. Thank you, Jameson. He left a while ago, but he made a statement. Hey, Robert Warney. I said Robert because of W in your name. Anyway, Robert Warney. Hi. And then who else? Chaos Divers made a statement. I put them all in my community post. Hold on. Oh, Nugs made a statement. Exploring with Nugs. And okay, Parker. And all right. So Doug, Josh, Sam the Adventure Man, Exploring with Nug, Depths of History, and Chaos Divers all made a statement. So yeah, your name was a tongue twister for me for a second because the W in it. I spoke too fast. They had a real young video guy named Wolfgang. Did he put out a statement? Let's see if I can find his. I thought they did too. And then this guy Adam, who works with Nugs, he was in the video too. So I'll play the short ones, and then Nugs is actually really long. But what I thought was so interesting about his, he wasn't really contractually held down to not be able to say what he wanted to say like the other ones. So he kind of just went all out. And he said that he messaged Jared. Okay, so he said at first he thought it was just a bunch of rumors and he was going to have his back because that's his boy. And he didn't realize the extent of it right away. So he messaged him and was like, hey man, do you have what do you got to say about this? Or do you have a statement? And he said that Josh messaged him back and was like, what I said in the emails is my statement. And that's crazy to me that, what was said in the emails is his statement. So basically he, blaming it on everything else and everyone else. And he's not denying it. So let me play, we'll play Doug's first because he went first. Which I'm a little upset about just because I really... I mean, I'm not upset, but I wish he would have acknowledged the victims a little more. But I'm thinking, I'm not going to just harp on him about this right now because I don't know if he's afraid to say certain things because of the NDA or whatever. So maybe he was just being careful about what he said because of the NDA, and that's why he didn't... Because, normally an NDA, a non-disclosure agreement you sign when you start working with somebody that you won't talk bad about them. If you guys split up or whatever. And a lot of times an NDA can be null and void if somebody was not forthcoming with you, or how can I say this? Like, if they told you untruths or they weren't forthcoming about some things. So they might be able to get around this, but I'm sure it's going to take time to have a lawyer look over the NDA and tell them, if it's okay to say this or that. So maybe he was just a little nervous about what he was saying. So I don't want to jump to conclusions. I just wish that he would have acknowledged the victims a little more, but like I said, maybe he was nervous about it. I don't know. But I am glad that they finally, hey, it's me, Jay. Hey, Janelle. Hey, Jen. Oh, and Jen, if you want to come up too. Or honestly, if anyone wants to come up and talk about it. Hey, Tax Cut. Sorry if I'm missing anyone. But yeah. So I'm hoping that maybe he'll make another video where he's a little more, acknowledge that a little more. But I'm glad that they are talking about this and speaking out about it and opening, and denouncing it. You know what I mean? At least they just didn't stay quiet. Oh, and also what I thought was pretty crazy was Josh Cantu, which you'll see when I play his. He basically says, if you're expecting, you haven't seen the messages, I can play them now. He said, if you're expecting any... Hey, Rye.
Hello. This is my first time on your panel.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad that you're up here.
You could tell in his voice how heartbroken he is.
Yeah, I agree with you there. I think he is. Okay, Jameson. Here, I could show the emails real quick before we start if you guys want to see it, because the emails are what Jared said his statement. Okay, so Nugs texted him and said, hey man, you have something to say about this or whatever. And he said, my statement is the email. So we'll go over the emails as Jared's statement, because that's what he said, and read them. And they all seem to have been on the same page about... Darn it, this is not what I wanted. They all seem to have been on the same page about they don't think, they said they didn't know, and they didn't think, even the ones who weren't very close still think that, Doug didn't know, because if Doug knew, he would have, not been okay with it or whatever. Just give me a second to find this, because there's been so many things that happened today. I'm assuming that there's just a lot of posts, you know what I mean? So just give me a second to find that initial post. Okay. How do I...
And I hope Doug sticks with what he's doing. He'll do great things.
Yeah, I think he will too. I think they all have why can't I find this? They all have unique skill sets, and I think if they stick together,
I think the issue is they don't all live in close proximity to each other. So that's why I think they're all kind of saying, no, I'm going to be my own team.
Yeah,
and we can get into that later, but
for them to get together too, you know what I mean? Hold
right.
on, let me just move this to the side, because I know.
I mean, I know if there's cases that are in, say, Nugs, exploring with Nugs in his area, he does them, and then if he needs a hand, he'll call Britton of Death's History, and Jared's helped him on a case or two.
So I imagine the ones that are close by each other will still work together,
right?
If they go here or there,
right? But if they happen to be in the same area and, need a hand, they'll show up.
Yeah. All right, hold on. I sent the link to somebody, so give me a second.
I mean, those other channels also, I mean, they do have a ton of subscribers, and they're probably doing okay, but they're not doing as well as AWP was doing, where they can travel wherever they want to.
Yeah.
I mean, their equipment
Yep.
was some of their equipment was handed down from Jared.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, Jared paid for. So it sounded like to me, from what I've heard from, what the people have said. Okay, I found the post. Let me just send it to myself. But it sounds to me like Jared basically made the money.
He did.
And that he
kept the money.
Yeah, like he paid for them.
He paid for their expenses to be on the road and their food.
But other than that, he helped them build their channel, and that's about it.
Right.
So I'm sure it's probably costly for them to continue exactly what they were doing with Jared. You know what I mean?
Right. Yep.
Okay, so here is the emails. All right, so basically this girl has said, why is it not? In a nutshell, that she had seen that, Jared was being hailed as a hero with this Kylie Rodney case, and she got frustrated and out of anger sent him this email. And he emailed back, and this basically was what sent her, got her evidence. This is him admitting it to her. So she was able to, bring this to.
You might want to read it, Kate, if you can.
I will.
Blind. I can't see a damn thing.
Yeah, read it. So she messaged him and says, "Do you feel better as a person doing things like this? Does this make you feel less of a child, molesting monster parading around in human skin? There's no forgiveness for what you did to me in my home in Utah, Grandma and Grandpa's house in Vegas, and right above Grandma and Grandpa's head in their very own truck. The rest of the family is just as much to blame as you because they didn't turn you in when they knew better. And as I was just a child and did not know any better, and yet you're still welcomed at family get-togethers or like my grandfather's funeral while in the parking lot getting ready to get out of the car and attend, I seen your face and became so violently ill I couldn't even attend. I had to drive down the street to CVS and watch it all via Zoom. All these people may be calling you a hero and saying that you're doing such great things, but we both know the truth about you, and you're obviously not ashamed of your past. But I also am not ashamed of my past, and I have a voice, and I will use it as much as possible. I possibly can. Your secrets are not hidden." Yes, Jameson, it's a sensitive topic. Thanks, guys. It gets very graphic, so. And then he says, so this is what he told Nugs, that this is his statement. What he said in these emails is how he feels and how he's responding. This is his statement, supposedly. So he says, "I'm so very sorry for the things we cannot change. It is unfortunate that the blank and blank lineage," so that's the last names of their family, Lysick and whatever, that's one with a J, I don't remember how to pronounce it, lineage, "experienced that shit that you and I and many other cousins were brought into." So he's basically saying there's a lot of abuse in the family and that he was a victim also, which doesn't make it right because he was at the age where he should have known exactly what he was doing. And then he says, "Like yourself, I was once a victim by multiple people, both in and out of the family. It is unfortunate when families like ours experience..." Hold on. I'm not going to say the word because it's just a word I don't want to repeat on YouTube, but molestation. Any of us cousins got together to acknowledge what had happened in our youth and made a pact to put an end to it and to protect our children from anything like that ever happening to them. So it almost sounds like he tries to just lump himself in with a group of people rather than it being just him and blame
Like,
it
take responsibility, dude.
Yeah, blame it on the family. Oh, we lost Ryan. Let me know if you want to come back up, Ryan. I'll share the link. And then he says, I have myself tried to apologize to you and to have an open conversation with you about it to answer any questions you may have. The first time that I apologized to you, I am sorry for the way that it was handled, for I was under the impression that your mother knew and that I felt it was appropriate at that time to have the conversation with both of you. I did not mean to embarrass you or to catch you off guard. So I suppose at this point she did not tell her mom, and he brought it up and, said it for her. The second time that I tried was not to clear my own conscience, but to help you heal and help with any struggles you may have been having, as many of us had to learn how to overcome and move forward. Yeah, it makes me furious, Sue Parker, because he's basically saying,
sorry, not sorry.
Like, I had to overcome it, so do you. Like, he essentially told me to go F myself and told me how I had embarrassed you the first time around. I am sorry. My understanding is that other cousins have also tried to have the same conversations with you. We are now all adults, and it is healthy for us to acknowledge and address those unfortunate circumstances from our past in our child and adolescent years.
That
was 3, right? Was that 3? No. Okay. Then he says, well, there's a lot of shit that happened throughout my own life personally, from molestation, abandonment, growing up in foster care, and other shit along the way. I would not change a thing, for it has made me who I am today. I cannot apologize for others, for anything that has happened to you in your life, but I have done my best to acknowledge directly with you my own mistakes. I hold no secrets as to this with my own parents and my grandma and grandpa, with your mother and aunt blank, blank, and blank, and blank, my own wife and my children. I have even discussed publicly about my situation and the unfortunate shit that has happened within families. He obviously didn't discuss publicly what he did, though. Do we pinpoint it? So this is where he starts saying, do we blame it on our lineage or Mormonism? Like, no, this is blaming it on you. I haven't even discussed publicly about my situation and about my situation. And these emails are real, according to Jared's own friend. Jared's own friend emailed him and said,
no, he texted him. He texted directly to Jared's phone, and Jared
he had Jared's number. Nugs, his name is. He's friends with him. He texted him and said, "Do you have it?" Like, he didn't know that it was this serious at the point, and he thought it was allegations. So he messaged Jared and asked him, like, "Do you have anything to say about this?" And Jared said, "My emails, the emails that are out, is my statement." So Jared himself said these emails are real. So let me just clarify that.
Cantu really wants to win for him tonight and last night.
I know.
Good God.
Like, Jared himself, via a good friend of his, Jared himself said these emails are real. Do we pinpoint to the Lysick and Juhaj lineage, or do we pinpoint to Mormonism? I do not have an answer. There's no way for me to understand. Hey, Muffy! There's no way for me to understand the hatred and resentment that you must have for me over 3 decades later. I heard about your driving into the cemetery a few weeks later. Trust me, had I known that you had the desire to be there and that I was the only reason keeping you away, I would have 100% giving up my time to do what I could do to avoid the ceremony, so that you would feel comfortable and have time with Grandma and the rest of the family. It is your decision and your choice if you ever want to accept my apology. I have made peace in my life with all things bad, including this situation. If you ever want to discuss, I am always available to have that conversation with you in person or over the phone. Sincerely, Jared. I think that was 4.
Hi, Plunkett. Hi, Paco.
Or was it 3? Hold on, we have 4. Okay, no, that was okay. So then she says, "Hey, Puckett." It says, "If you truly want to apologize, then pay for your actions. Walk into a police station with me and confess your actions." Mind you, she has said publicly the only thing she wants from this is justice. She's denying that she wants any money or anything. She just wants him to be registered as a sex offender and do the time or whatever. Get it on record and have yourself registered as the sex offender that you are. My only regret in life was not being as open about you and your abuse to anyone and everyone who would listen like I am now, and turning you into police like you should have been. I understand how you can try and get me to sympathize with you and your past issues. Not at all. It angers me twice as much to know that not only did you know firsthand the torture you were inflicting upon me because you had experienced it yourself. That makes you an even bigger monster than I have pictured in my mind. Absolutely disgusting. You're an emotional vampire. I noticed all the therapy terms you used in your message. Typical narcissism at its best. How somebody could ever come to peace with damaging such a young, innocent human being is beyond me. Proof of a completely broken mind, assuming that there would be any kind of peace after those types of actions, or that peace should even be deserved. You are a pedo, but you are a pedo. Do not act like you were not old enough to know what you were doing to me during the ages that you were. You could have been tried as an adult at that age and should have been. And as to the comments about my life and things that have happened to me, I don't know who or why you're even discussing me. Hey, Rye.
And as a Mormon growing up, I don't condone that he's blaming it on the Mormon religion.
Yeah, I don't think anybody does. I think he's looking for just an excuse to blame it anywhere but himself, which is unfortunate.
And not all Mormons are bad. Like, growing up, like, we're some of the nicest people you'll ever meet.
Yeah. And I hope she does get money out of this. I agree.
And I think it's going to be a snowball effect. Since his sister and cousin came out, more are going to come out.
So I think so too, for sure. I definitely, well, she even said there's definitely more victims, but it's not her place to put their story out, and that's on them. So I hope that this will make them feel more comfortable to come out. Where was I? Okay, so it says, and as the comments about my life and things that have happened to me, I don't know who or why you're even discussing with me, but I can guarantee you that nobody really knows anything, because just like your situation, I've kept my mouth shut until recently, and I don't talk to any of the family, despite what other, as you say, cousins have come to you and said. So be a real man and turn yourself in and pay for your crimes, or continue to be the small, sad, mental midget that could keep his libido under control and blames it on his past. And then he says, unfortunately, your desire to have a 46-year-old male live the mistakes of a 12-year-old, which he was not 12, he was 17, simply is not realistic. Thank God we are not forever judged for our actions as youth, and I am grateful that many of us cousins acknowledge and stop those sins which happened to us and those sins we once committed as a result of grooming. It is healthy for you to now be open and talk about the past. You, as a full-grown woman in your early 40s, are to be commended for facing and standing up to those actions which happened to you in the past. Spread awareness and stop the cycle as we cousins within the family have for our own children and grandchildren. Protect your own children and grandchildren as we have to help the world become a better place. We live in a society that acknowledges the mistakes made in the past, accepting those who have proven to change. My life holds no secrets, and everyone in my office feels your pain and has seen this email string, for I don't filter my own emails. And I don't believe that. Based on what I've heard, they did not know about this, and I've heard that they don't believe that he shows other people his emails, and it makes me come to believe that possibly he said that out of fear that she would email his coworkers. So why better, like, what better way to say all my coworkers know already, so she wouldn't do that? You know what I mean? Like, that would be the perfect tactic to make sure that she didn't email his coworkers and tell her they already know. He says, they know me for the man that I am and not the mistakes of the 12-year-old who learned to recognize the cycle and break the cycles many of us cousins did. You were younger and not yet ready to accept my apology and recognize the steps we have made for future generations to protect them. I hope you can one day find forgiveness and peace. Feel free to have any last words, for I will not respond to any further attacks to my character today based upon those actions as a youth. Should you desire a healthy adult conversation as to the past, I am open to helping you through the acceptance and growth that many of us faced and dealt with.
You know, what makes me sick is the thought that his cousin I don't want to say only happened twice, but she's claiming twice. Imagine his sister's situation.
Oh, yeah. I can't even.
The thought of that makes me sick.
Having to, like, live with the guy for probably a period of
He
time.
had more access to her.
Yep. All right. He says, all right, you read that already. Hold on. If you have not done so already, I may suggest reaching out to blank and lean on her for guidance as one closer to your age who within the family has gone through this with us. I am not sure your relationship with Aunt Blank or your mother, but I suggest leaning on them as well, for they experienced much of the same in our own youth. Sincerely, Jared.
Is this to his sister or to the cousin?
This is to the cousin. And then she says at the bottom, the person that he refers to as blank would be my cousin blank and one of his previous victims prior to me. So I believe there's 2 cousins and his sister at this point, based on what she's saying right here.
Wow.
At least. He referred me to her so that way she could help me learn how to forgive him. Not to mention, unprovoked by me, she contacted me a few days after these emails happened and has tried to convince me, but all of this is not as bad as I see it. And it's horrible. So, final email. She says, let's do some math here. I was 9 or 10, living in Utah, and you forced me to have sex with you on my bathroom floor upstairs. You are 6 or so years older than me. That makes you older than 12. He was 17, according to the dates on the indictment. In Las Vegas at Grandma and Grandpa's house, you were living there and you had your own car, a Volkswagen Beetle, and I was driving it when it ran. So please stop making it sound as if you were a young child during the time you were doing that to me. Maybe you started that young with others, but as you are not willing to face your wrongdoing in proper fashion, then that is on you and you alone. Anyone who supports you in your sick delusion fantasy of forgiving yourself for the pain and suffering you caused and willingly, knowingly caused, not only a child, but your own family member, but I do appreciate your admitting it all in writing. And then he answers, you're welcome. I hope it helps your healing process, Jared. And that's what he told. He told that to his sorry, where did I?
So Nugs is another diver who used to. He's done a few cases with Jared and his team, and he didn't know the severity of it. So he reached. I'm just recapping. Mm-hmm. So he reached out to Jared by text and said, "Hey, brother, I heard you have some issues going on. Is everything okay?" And all Jared responded back was, "My response is my email." And obviously, that was the emails.
Which is kind of like a mess up thing to say.
It really is, because
someone you've been a friend with for a while, like,
yeah.
Just read the emails. That's my statement. Like, it's almost like he's not even friends with them anymore, and just, this is that, bye.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm gonna
sure
play.
they all blindsided. I'm sure it's like a big family breakup, is what it is.
And I
They
mean, these are people's
Jared,
careers. You know
a
what I
god,
mean? Like, this is
and
their career.
yeah,
Imagine, you know, having your dream job, career, doing great things, and then, you know, this happens to you. Like, oh, there we go. All right, I'm gonna play Doug's real quick.
Everybody wants to know how I feel right now. You know, I have become the voice of our purpose, you know, what we have all come together to do. And now what has happened 30 years ago has come to light and it's being affecting everybody involved with this. There are contracts in place. There's legal ramifications. I mean, you know, with me even speaking my opinion. But in this scenario, I got to keep it real to everybody who loved Adventures with Purpose, who loves Adventures with Purpose, who loves what we were able to accomplish in this world. We've proven that what we have done works, it's effective, it's a need for it. You know, we tell people stories. We are the voice for the voiceless. When we are covering these people's stories and going into their homes and representing them and telling their story of their missing loved ones, that's what it is we do. Do nothing else, you know? And I'm not just speaking for me because I'm not the only one that's involved in this. There are other people's lives who are affected by this, you know? And that's what this is about. And being real is all you can be. That's all you got in this world is what you stand for and how you come up. Yeah, you know, done a lot of good in this world and everybody's got a story to tell. Everyone, absolutely everybody has a story to tell. You know, where I come from though, there's codes. Where I go from here, you know, I have a lot of support and I love everybody who's reaching out and just telling me and letting me know that
I wasn't sure if he was trying to. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. I wasn't sure if he was trying to say like I know he came from like a rough background, and I think he was referring to like, you know, there's like a.
there's a hands-off kids code is what he's referring to.
Yeah,
you don't ever fuck with kids.
Yeah, you don't mess with kids. Yeah, that's what I took too. That like, you know, it's just wrong, and you know, you're breaking. That's like a code amongst men that you don't mess with kids, and it's just you can tell. Like I think like in that way was hit. Like I'll say that's probably his way of mentioning the victims, even though he didn't like straight up mention it. But like I said, I'm not going to jump to conclusions because they might be afraid to say things because they're under an NDA most likely, and it probably, like I said, takes a little while to have that worked out to see if it would still, you know, if it would be null or not. Because I'm sure he has kept things from them, which you can cancel an NDA from people being not truthful or forthcoming with you. So, but I'm pretty sure he would have to have, you know, like a lawyer look over it and all that first.
Right.
All right, let me keep going.
I have your support and that you stand with me. And my future is just going to go with being real. You know, I'll continue to follow the passion that I've developed with helping people, with, you know, telling somebody's story. You know, I come from the towing industry, and now I pull cars out underwater, helping families get answers. I've developed that passion. It's unfortunate that I've developed that passion, and this has happened. It doesn't align with what I believe in. I have daughters. I'm a father, and I come from a real rough background, and I've changed my life. I've become a really good man, and I've always followed the code, and the code has been violated. With that being said, you know, there's a lot of legal things that have to play out, and they got to play out, you know, but it doesn't involve me. It doesn't involve my name. It doesn't involve anybody else's name that's been associated with it, you know, because we've worked with a lot of people intimately, and there's a lot of people that are hurting right now. I'm just as heartbroken. I care a lot about what it is that I've been able to do. And where this goes, I don't know. I don't know where this goes. My future's bright. I'm gonna always be okay. My family's gonna be okay, and I kept it real. You know, I can't wait for lawyers to make decisions. I have to defend my family. I have to defend myself, and unfortunately, you know, that doesn't align with my future. It doesn't align with me at all. None of us. You know what I mean? None of us knew any of this, and I am just as shocked as everybody else. It's really unfortunate and heartbreaking. Yeah, man. Me, people that know me, you guys know I'm a survivor, and you know
I think they will do fine. Like, I think they all have pretty good, like, decent skill sets where they could carry on their channel now and do well for themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Rody Gal.
Hi, Rody Gal.
got nothing to hide. I'm not gonna hide nothing. Is what it is. Be positive, you know, moving forward. You know, there's people out there that have a story to tell. There's victims out there that have a story to tell, and I have been a voice for those victims. I'm gonna continue to follow that passion, and I know I have the support to do so. I'm respected in a lot of circles with agencies, and those who know me, and those of you who don't know me, get to know me. Future's gonna be great, but it won't be what it used to be. You know, we all got to move forward, whatever that means. I don't know. Appreciate each and every one of you.
Kate, you have the other links, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, you should play Josh Cantu's response.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to play next. I'll play some of Nugs, but his is like super long. So I'll do like the beginning where he says like all of what he wanted to say before. But, oh wait, let me share Doug's video link. Let me look up Josh.
Just wanted to be real with you guys, and I wanted to take a moment to try to address the issue that should have been addressed by now, which we were all hoping for.
So, Kate, you might want to just say who he is.
I have officially.
Oh yeah, sorry. So Josh, isn't he like the camera guy? He does a lot of the videography. Yeah.
Yes, he's the camera guy.
Yeah, so if you watch the videos where like they talk about their little window breaker and stuff, he does a lot of them, and he does a lot of the videoing. And his channel's pretty. Let me share his link too. Well, I'll share the link to the video, and then you can find. He has a really good statement, Josh. I think he said what he needed to say well, and it didn't get too long. And he seems really upset that Jared hasn't. I think they all kind of hesitated to see if Jared was going to say anything, and he didn't. And now they feel the need to do it themselves, you know, because Jared hasn't said anything.
It's worse to not say something than to say something.
Yeah, at least make a statement or something, you know.
Right.
Hey, Thumb Thug.
Hey, Thumb Thug.
Actually resigned from being part of the search team, which I don't need to mention. It's pretty obvious that I've been a part of in the past. I will live my life with integrity and morale, and knowing that I did the right thing and made the right decision, which I hope you guys can support. Hey guys, Josh Cantu here with an update. You guys may know me for my behind the scenes content and my video work with the search team for the past year and a half. But there's some things that have been brought to the light that the team and I were not aware of, and not aware of until very, very recently. And we're not okay with it. And it has created this avalanche of momentum, which it should have when it needed to, against certain things that allegedly have happened with someone that we trusted. It's currently Tuesday, November 8th, 11:14. And
I feel like he's being really sincere too. Like I don't get the feeling that they knew.
Right.
Like, and he was like, I feel like he's just as close as Doug is, you know?
Yeah. I mean, I think that he probably, I think he was counting on Jared standing up and like putting out a statement, and they were waiting and waiting, and he didn't do it. So they felt like pushed in a corner that they had to. You can tell like towards the end of this that he's like, well, we were waiting for a statement. You could tell
Yeah,
at the end.
because like, don't hold your breath if you're expecting one.
Yes, exactly.
Mm-hmm. Who all has resigned so far? Well, Doug implied, Josh. So
Nick Carson
Nugs was never like in AWP, but he was
a colleague.
He was a colleague, yeah. He's publicly denounced him.
In Britain.
Chaos Divers.
Yep. Jacob.
Who's
and
the
then Depths of History Britain. Same thing.
Gotcha. So yeah, there's I have a list of all of them, so we'll go through all of them. There's a lot of people. And they all I'm assuming they all spoke. I don't know about Nick. I haven't seen Nick make a statement yet. He could have, and I might have missed it, but I haven't seen it yet. Have you, Jen?
No, I haven't heard anything from Nick.
Yeah. So I don't know about Nick yet.
I just wanted to come on here and try to tell you about Josh Cantu. So I am not going to be speaking about the things that one of our members and may be going through, because I'm not allowed to, which is fine. It's not my place, which is why I have officially resigned from being part of the search team, which I don't need to mention. It's pretty obvious, that I have been a part of in the past. If you are unaware of what's going on right now, that is because it is not hit.
What'd you say?
He's not even allowed to say the company name.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure that's what the NDA, like.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And I doubt. Go ahead, Ryan. Were you going to say something?
I was about to say that too, that he said an NDA. It can't speak on certain things.
Yeah. Yeah. I think they probably can't say the company name. And it probably says they can't say negative things about him, but I don't know how. I'm sure they haven't been able to have lawyers look over it yet, but all right, let me start it.
Hit the mainstream yet because it is not proven yet in court, which is fine. And I'm not here to tell you if it is or is not true, because I personally do not know, and it is not my business to talk about. But what I do know is that my reaction and the reaction of my teammates are not going to be sticking around to find out. We are pretty set on sticking to our morals, to our integrity, especially as fathers and just decent human beings. But I do want to say that I do not condone the activities that have been reported. And I think that justice needs to be served, if there's a case. I'm a father of a 16-month-old baby girl, beautiful baby girl. And the things that have been being said are unacceptable and unfathomable.
That's got to be hard, definitely, for him and Doug, because both of them have daughters. He's got a little baby girl. I'm pretty sure he documents like his little fatherhood journey and stuff too, and I think he'd be good
he
at
does.
continuing that. Yeah, I think he'll do good doing
Very
that.
cute. He has like a first visit video for everything they've done with her.
Yeah. You also have to keep in mind too, like, I'm not trying to like stand up for Doug, but they're like very different guys. You know what I mean? Like you can tell this, like, Josh is more like a wear his heart on his sleeve kind of guy. And you can tell Doug is more like that hardened, been through a lot in life, so he probably doesn't talk about his feelings a lot type thing. So I don't know. You know, you can tell that they're different people. I'm not making excuses for them. I'm just saying, like, I like Josh's statement way better, but also, like, you can kind of get that feel for Doug too, that he's probably not like a really emotional type dude. Like my dad was always like that.
Yeah.
That's like me. I rarely cry. Like, we don't like to show people our emotions.
Yeah. And Doug, Doug may have more legally binding stuff too, because he was like kind of like the lead guy and
we're not sure if he took over for CEO, but we know that Jared stepped down and he did give it to someone else. We just don't know who that is right now.
Yeah. I wonder if he gave to
Doug.
Not Doug, Nick.
Well,
did he give CEO to somebody before all this came out, or
about a month ago?
Oh, okay. So yeah, maybe it was him. Yeah, if he gave CEO to Doug, then Doug would definitely have more legally binding stuff than Josh.
Right.
All right, let me keep playing.
And raging. But the question is what can come out of this? I don't know. I know what we have. Starting with me. I know I'm a storyteller. I know I'm a videographer. I know I'm a man of integrity. I know I have skills. I come from an aquatic background as a lifeguard, swimming. I took a dive certification class back in 2012. So I have a background in loving to be underwater. I am not currently dive certified, but I showed interest in trying to become so. And I have shown a love for helping families receive the answers that they've been looking for when it comes to things that have happened in their lives that left them without answers. And me and other teammates that I've worked with have been very passionate about that momentum that we have been following, and we have fallen in love with being able to do that for these families. The path and opportunities that the last year has opened has been amazing. The work we've been able to do has been amazing. And honestly, in this last chapter, recent chapter, I mean, we were able to do it as creatively as we could. What I mean by that is when your boss isn't there looking over your shoulder, and the people that you have brought on your team to give you a certain type of talent and skill and heart, we are able to do that in a better way when working together amongst friends and people you consider family. So the content that has been made from the last couple months has been really, really good and really fun to work with my teammates, but also really emotional and empowering and helpful. And I don't know if those stories will meet the light of day. I know that I myself have many stories of behind the scenes content from me on the road with my friends. And I had many stories.
So it sounds like he's saying he can't use a lot of his videos that he made because I guess they would be considered AWP since he made it like on the road. And Kim said that the new CEO is a new hire and they did a video that introduced him. I didn't see that, so thank you for saying that. I didn't know. So interesting that he brought in a new hire that, that didn't know anything. I mean, I guess at least, well, I don't know. At least he did, like, it almost seems like he was thinking about how it would look if he made one of the guys who were already with him that, like, because if it came out, it would seem like they knew. So maybe that's why he went with a new hire. I don't know. Or maybe the new hire is someone closely related to Jared, so he can still make the money, like a cousin or something. You know the name of the guy, Kim? Because I'm just curious if there's some kind of, like, relation there. Because if there is, that would make a lot of sense why he did that.
Stories to tell for you guys. I have summer road trip, fall road trip episodes I never got to but wanted to. Content. This is content that I was depending on for my family to share my stories with you guys and to possibly use it. What I mean by that is through YouTube, I am able to make a paycheck. I'm able to provide for my family through YouTube. I work hard on it. I edit my own stuff. I make my own videos. I am maintaining my own channel. And what is happening right now leaves a lot of uncertainty for me and my family. More than a lot. But the one thing that we decided as friends is we have to be okay with putting that on the line, because this is a moment to stand and to stand up and to fight against things that we are not okay with. And I don't know where that will lead in the future for Josh Cantu and my videography company, Juke Motion Pictures, and my behind the scenes channel. But what I do know is that there is momentum. There's momentum. And the talent and the skill that we all have naturally, and the community that we have welcomed into our lives and into our hearts and shared our stories with and laughed with and worked hard for, that if there is a way to continue, whatever that means, we will work hard trying to find it.
Looks like I feel bad because those tapes that he had right there, that's probably like weeks and weeks of footage that he put together. Yeah. Like, that has to be so frustrating.
Or how he feeds him. Yeah.
And that's how he feeds his family. But I think he has a lot of skill, and I think they'll be okay doing their own thing. It sucks.
I think he would do well in, like, doing it for, like, motion picture. Get into the film industry.
Oh, yeah. He even does, like, the stuff with the drones and everything, too. Like, don't they have the cameras and the drones that go overhead?
Yeah.
Whatever. Like, a lot, their videos are really good. I don't know if he's the only. I think they have a couple cameramen, but he does a really good job. All right, because I've seen his personal videos on his personal channel, and he does a good job on them as well. All right, let me mute.
Now, I need you to understand that is very difficult, and that is a battle. It's not as easy as just taking what you've learned and boom, the next day you're out, fishing on the water. But there are certain things that you cannot coin. You cannot say as intellectual property. Like swimming. Now, certain things I can't say, so it's difficult speaking candidly, and I apologize. I'm sorry to any person that can relate to what is going on. I'm sorry for anyone who has never told the stories that they have in their own heart. And I do not put my name from here on forward with the empowerment of an individual who is capable of things that may or may not be true. And that is why I've left as a videographer with my previous employment as of this morning. And it is, like I said, Tuesday, November 8th. So momentum has began. But that also leads to uncertainty. Now, what I can tell you is that I plan on keeping this channel. And
so he says, you know, like, obviously he can't just go. So, like, what he's saying is he can't just go back on the road and start diving for cars, or they can't, because they don't have all that equipment or the trailers, or, you know, it's costly and it costs a lot of money. So he's trying to say, like, this isn't going to go on like it did. You know, this is like, you're not going to get the same content that you got before, at least not right now, because it's a lot of money that they put into that. Well, that Jared, you know, I guess Jared owned it all. And now, you know, they're not with the company anymore, and they can't just go out and start diving for cars. It takes, you know, a lot more than just that. So what did he do? What do you mean by, like, can't coin swimming or something like that?
What does he mean by you can't coin?
He's like, there's a lot of things you just can't coin. Like, I thought he meant by, like, there's a lot of things you just can't. He said something like, there's a lot of things you just can't coin, like swimming. Like, I'm thinking he meant coin as in, like, claim as your own.
I don't know.
But I didn't understand.
I think we should definitely play the one with.
Sorry, go ahead. What do you say?
I said I think we should definitely play the one with Sam too.
Yeah, because he left the one
that was, like, a year ago.
A year ago, yeah. I think he predicted a lot of what Jared was, or what was going to happen, kind of. Wait, so Peter Coughlin, did he denounce himself? Like, did he change that he's not the CEO now? I don't have.
Are you asking me?
No, I was reading chat. Sorry, I was asking chat. I was asking Devil in chat. Well, I have LinkedIn, but I don't remember any of my passwords, so I'm not going to go look. But sounds like he might have changed his thing. You guys, you want me to keep going with this, or do you want me to go to a next one? I mean, I think we have his.
I would say go to the next one.
Yeah, he pretty much made his point. He doesn't stand for it. He's separating himself. He's still going to do content.
Chaos is quick and Brits is quick.
Okay, I'll get it. I'll find the pic. Thanks, though. Yeah. So.
Kate Esther, those two you should do Upchurch.
Oh yeah, I'll play his too. It's this one, right? Yeah.
This is very hard for me to say. Well, this, guys.
Kate, we should probably say who this is.
Yeah, sorry. So Chaos Divers is like the other diver group that you know more than me.
All right, so
Chaos
diver group that worked with them before. With? Yep, and they've actually given Jacob some of their old equipment.
Okay.
So they were close friends too.
Okay. Oh, Jacob's
Chaos right here. This is Jacob.
Okay, this is Jacob. So AWP gave Jacob their like old equipment?
Yeah, they did.
Okay. So they did a lot of like jobs with them and stuff, correct?
Not a lot, but they've done some.
Okay. So like an affiliate, like a colleague type thing.
Yeah, but they're close enough friends that if they were in town, they'd visit each other for sure.
Gotcha. All right.
While Chaos Divers will stay true to the followers and stay steadfast to our journey of helping and bringing home lost loved ones, we do not condone the alleged actions of others. From that, I want to apologize, but this has to be done. With what we were made aware of, this was way back before we even knew each other. This was years and years ago. Everybody was blindsided with this. Nobody knew. I want to make a promise to you guys that Chaos Divers will continue to do what we do. Our team will continue to fight for the families who have lost their loved ones. We will continue the journey that we started. My promise to you is Chaos Divers will always be true and faithful to each and every one of you. We love you guys, and I hope you understand We will not be working with the colleagues that we worked with before. And I love you guys. Keep diving. It's not where to stop. And there's another thing I have forgotten to mention. We will not be discussing the actions of others, nor will we disclose any personal information of that matter due to the open investigation still going on. And my heart goes out to each and every one of the victims. I'm sorry.
Jacob is a really good man. His wife actually goes with them on their I don't want to call it expeditions, but when they're out looking for cars and whatnot. And it's another sad thing because Jacob learned so much from Jared. Jared taught him Solar, how to read it. So it's really sad all around because I think and you'll hear it in Britt's voice too. Britt is from Depths of History, and he's also done cases where they've found a missing body. So, and he's a younger kid, but he's also he has a huge following, and he was at one point bigger than Jared was. And I think you could tell in Britton's voice as well that it's upsetting, but that he feels pushed to the limit that he has to say something and speak out. And he doesn't have children. He's not married. He has a girlfriend, but he's still speaking out. So that's Britt. That's, I think, the next one you're playing.
Yeah.
Britton is his name. I love that name, Britton.
It is a nice name. Oh my goodness. I just
dropped Ivy League
on my foot. Hold on. That's why you heard me go,
like,
oh my
you
God.
could tell all three of the guys are heartbroken. You could tell by in their voice.
Yeah, it's very somber, isn't it?
It is. Like, when I first heard Doug's, like, holy cow, how is he not, like, crying? You could.
Yeah.
He was heartbroken.
How can you imagine finding this out about a good friend of yours? Like, it's got to be really crappy.
They all looked up to him. And like I said, AWP's passed equipment down to these guys. So, I mean, they've known each other. They've counted on him. He's like the godfather of diving.
Yeah.
And, it's amazing, though, because Jared doesn't have all of the certifications that you really should have to go as deep as he goes. But he goes that deep anyways, because it's on him. If something happens, it wouldn't be on anyone else. But he's not technically supposed to dive as deep as he does.
I watched another diving show talk about that and how dangerous some of the stuff they do is, and how they should be more careful.
Yeah.
Because they aren't certified, and they need more training specifically, and how dangerous it is. So this is Peter Coughlin, I guess, the CEO. It's not on his link, like it doesn't say Ventures with Purpose on his LinkedIn anymore. So it looks like he just deleted it or whatever. All right, let me pull up the other one.
Britt is adorable. He's so sweet. He's a young kid.
So this is pretty much Depths of History is kind of like something similar as Chaos Divers. Like they are.
Yeah, they've worked together. They've actually rescued a body together, and Britt took it.
Look at all those trees down right there.
I didn't know that was going to play out loud. All right, sorry. Go ahead.
No, that's all right. I was just saying that I think the first body that Britt, and only body Britt ever found, was with Adventures with Purpose when he was working with them, and it really hit him. I remember him sitting on the bank of I think it was a lake, and he had his head down, and it was really hard for him. Like you could see the pain in his face. I don't know that he'll look for missing people. I think he will, but I think that he's more of like, he finds, like, I don't want to say gold, but he finds treasures. He finds a lot of like really high end stuff. He's found a lot of weapons that were thrown in lakes that were part of a crime scene.
So he's like a treasure diver more so.
Yeah, but he's kind of venturing into the missing people thing too. But I think it's just harder on him because he's younger.
Yeah.
Did he start out like what most people do with magnet fishing?
He probably did. I mean, they have pulled some pretty interesting stuff out. I remember seeing him pull a safe out. He's pulled tons of phones out. He's pulled a lot of guns out. He actually, I don't know if you guys saw it, but he went viral because was it him that did it? You know what? No, it wasn't him that did it. There was another diver that actually pulled out someone's ashes by accident, not knowing what it was, and called the police thinking that it was like something bad.
Like a family member threw the ashes in the water, and
yeah, but they didn't take them out of the bag. They left them in the bag and threw them in there. So when he opened it, he like screamed. It wasn't this kid right here. It was another diver, but he screamed and called the police, and the police were like, "You really need to put that back." Like somebody wanted that there.
Poor thing.
I know. He was young.
He probably thought like somebody like hit a body that way or something.
That's what he thought it was. And they were like, no, you want to put that back.
Oh my goodness. Okay. So this is Britt. And like you said, he's worked with them before. So he made a video as well. All right, I'm going to mute. And I'm not putting it full screen just because every time I put it full screen, it gets like funky. So, well, I might be able to. If it starts getting funky, then I'll put it back. But sometimes it just, I don't know.
Videos I've ever had to make. First and foremost, Depths of History will continue searching for lost loved ones. We do not condone the alleged actions of others. This needs to be said now. With the information reported recently, this not only left me saddened, but heartbroken for the victims of the alleged actions. This whole situation came as a shock to everyone, and I want to ensure with you all that I will continue my voyage for lost loved ones, and I will stay true to my message. Thank you to everyone who supports what we do, and I will continue praying for the victims as this moves forward. Out of respect for the victims in the situation, and the fact that I have limited information, I will not be responding to comments made on this video. I am honestly shocked, heartbroken, and speechless about what has been reported, and I'm doing my best to process the information while staying true to who I am on my channel.
It's very sad. And I sent you the link.
Really short.
I sent you the link to Sam's too. It's really sad because all of that
Sam's
to him.
Before Nug. Like I'm not gonna play all of Nug's. I think I'm gonna do just to begin.
Yeah.
You think I should do Sam's first?
I would do Sam's first because his is from a year ago and it really hits home because I was there. I was live that night, like watching him live doing this stream and going back and forth between his stream and Jared's stream because Jared wanted to, defend himself on his stream. But I remember that night so clearly because I was watching Sam and then I went to Jared and Jared was just sitting in a chair with his arms folded and people were in his chat calling him out, being like, "You don't pay them? Like, what is wrong with you? Like, stop being so." People were just going at him. And his body language just said, like, "I don't care." Yeah. Like he sat in the chair with his arms crossed, still going with the same story that they need funds to do these missions. And you'll hear from Sam in this.
Yeah, it's like he tries to make it like it's a 501c, and then they don't.
Not. They're a for-profit. They're a for-profit.
And I mean, he has almost $2 million home, or I think it's like $1,199,000.
I just found out today he has 2 homes.
Yeah, this guy is loaded. Sick.
He's doing just fine.
Mm-hmm. All right, so Sam was like his right-hand man, and he left because he wasn't getting paid, and he was putting like his face on T-shirts and things like that and getting money for it, but not paying him.
And he didn't even ask if he could do it.
Yeah, he didn't even ask if he could do it. He was literally,
profiting off Sam's, Sam's look, I guess.
Yep. And if I have time, I'll play it, but there is a video that AWP does like a prank on him that's so inappropriate. They Jared, not AWP, sorry, Jared gets his sister to like run up on Sam, who has a girlfriend, and is like, he doesn't know that it's Jared's sister. And she's like, oh, can we have a quickie? Like, let's go in the car. And he's like, no, I have a girlfriend, you know? And then Jared pretended like he was going to do it. And then they came out and he was like, oh, no, this is just my sister, Rochelle. And it was so weird, like so gross. Like, why would you make a joke like that? It wasn't even, I don't know. Now that you look back on it in hindsight, knowing like what happened, it was really creepy what he did. If I have time, because I know we're showing a lot of videos, I will show it.
I really struggled how to even go about this. I wrestled in my mind back and forth.
A year ago.
Oh, let me.
I keep on coming back to the same place.
Yeah, this was a year ago.
That the public needs to know. Many people here on YouTube and on Facebook, they believed in the cause. They believed in us. They believed in what we're doing. They believed enough to contribute. I've had so many people reach out to me saying, let us know what's going on. What happened? Why did you leave? And since I was involved, I have the social responsibility that I need to let them know. What's right is right, and what's wrong is wrong. And for me to remain silent would definitely be wrong. And I can't have that on my conscience.
Do you know where he's from? This gives me like Seattle vibes.
I'm not honestly sure. He must be pretty close to Oregon, though.
Yeah.
I'd like to start out just by publicly acknowledging that this is probably one of my weakest points, public speaking. This isn't easy for me to do. This isn't something that I've really wanted to have to do, but I know that it needs to be done. As I'd stated, I couldn't go on with my conscience knowing that, I had the power to say something and I didn't. So I want you guys to bear with me as I struggle through my words. And with that being said, I just want to start off by saying, I don't want any whatsoever AWP bashing. The fact of the matter is, they've had a lot of great results. They found people, they brought people home. A lot of you guys wouldn't even know who I was, without Adventures with Purpose. I'm incredibly grateful, for my time with them, with Jared, and it was amazing. We really did do some amazing things, but a lot of the stuff that was going on behind the scenes just didn't sit right with me. A lot of the, what seemed to be people's motives also didn't sit right with me. And so, with that being said, I just do want to say that I am thankful for my time with Adventures with Purpose. I don't want any bashing. I love those guys. And I hope that if anything, that this will encourage them. And this will be met as some kind of encouragement to, get them to go to the next level so that they can continue the work. Jared's extremely brilliant, and I believe in him.
It's nice that he still talks
I sat
nice
close
about
to him
him.
all the time. We were in the RV. I knew him well for 2 years, or I got to know him, I should say. Anyway, but with that being said, I'm thankful. And I also, in my opinion, with all the money that's come in, I thoroughly believe that you could probably fund 10 AWPs. With the whole bit, the trailer, the gear, just everything. I don't feel that the money is actually being used appropriately. I feel like the image of being broke is constantly put out there and put in the public's face, saying, hey, we're broke, we need tires, we need you to send money so that we can get tires so that we can go help this family. When, from everything that I saw, that's clearly not the case. And I mean, not the case in a big way. The image of being broke, it's being used as a vehicle, in my opinion, to get more donations. And that's how, this has mostly been funded. And also, shoving cameras.
Wow, he's awfully brave for coming out with this.
Grieving people who are at their lowest point in their life, and then being in a situation where they're constantly seeing that image of either them or their loved one constantly being marketed. That to me does not sit right. That is not good with my heart.
So this was a year ago. So this is way before the Kylie Rodney case even happened, and a lot of people didn't even know didn't know who AWP were before then. And even like back a year ago, he was saying it makes him really uncomfortable that you have somebody at the lowest point in their life, like a grieving person, having a camera shoved in their face, while they're finding out that, their kid or family member is in, the car that they found.
Mm-hmm.
It's a terrible time in someone's life to be recording them. And that's what they did. Like, that's what you see now. And he was saying this a year ago that, he didn't align with that and it didn't make him comfortable
whatsoever. I started doing search and recovery 12 years ago when nobody was watching. I actually have a heart for this. And I believe that, my heart was used to, put out this beautiful image to the world. But in my opinion, it's just an image. So shoving the cameras in people's faces, that wasn't good for me. These people are broken, they're sad, and then to be forced to watch time and time and time again, through various different medias, their loved one being paraded as if there's some hunting trophy. Yeah, that did not sit well with me. Again, I apologize. My words aren't real good.
I think they would have did a better job if they showed them searching and then finding, but then kind of like cutting it off there. And then maybe like a couple weeks later when the family has gone through the process and everything, maybe having like an interview with them or.
But that's just it. The whole purpose behind it, as much as we all wanted to believe was for the good, it was about money.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want to slander the man, but
yeah, I mean, the more you see all this, the more you see all this and what's coming out, then it feels like it didn't feel like that to me at first, but now that all this is coming out, it feels like that, like, oh, this guy didn't it wasn't like that for him.
Jared has a history of money making schemes.
Yeah. I didn't know that until just reading his bio about the stocks and everything. That blew my mind. And he lied about that because I looked at his stock website and he lied. He was definitely suggesting stocks and basically taking people's money. It's kind of like a complicated thing to explain. And if anyone wants me to explain it, I'll explain it at the end. But he was definitely taking people's money. And thank you, Janelle. I try not to have drama over here. I like just doing content. Okay, so let me continue.
How I've seen people treated in our group, within our group, how I saw people treated. That was not good, in my opinion, and also the treatment of others. In my view, that things were not all that good. And I just wanted to say, I've been silent, for like the last, month, almost 5 weeks. I just had to take a moment, get my thoughts together, figure out, how do I even, present this to the world. Some legal counsel was sought, to understand, the wording and how to say things correctly, because I don't want to find myself in a lawsuit, or that has been part of the reason why things have been so quiet on my end. So I do want to take a moment to, apologize. Many of you guys reached out with your messages and your encouragement, and some of you guys with your challenges. I appreciate those too.
Do you know if Jared tried to sue him?
No.
He didn't, or you don't know?
No, I don't believe he did.
Okay.
No.
But so many of you guys actually reached out to me. I didn't realize that. I didn't realize I had so much support in the world. Just a regular dude. That can barely speak. And I just want to say thank you guys for your encouragement. With all these things going on, that I saw, from my view, what was going on with the money, how people were, being exploited. The image of being broke. Hey, we're broke. Send us money. Just all of these things that I saw going on. I came back to the point with point, well, let me see if Jared even respects me. Let's see if he respects me. I think maybe about 8 months ago, I really don't know, he started putting out images of me and a few other people in his, with the stickers. He had stickers and pins and different things, and he was selling these things. He never asked me. He never cleared it with me. He never said, hey, Sam, do you mind? But, I let it go because, to me, that wasn't really that big of a deal. And I'm sure he was probably only making, a few $100, off of that, just my image alone. And then finally, I said, I want to see if this guy even respects me. I couldn't get back in that RV to do another trip without having this conversation. And so I reached out to him. This was me testing the waters there. I reached out to him to test the waters saying, hey, hey, Jared, I'm not really, I'm a volunteer. I'm not making any money. Things are tight. I have kids. I love helping people, but I need to make a little something. As a volunteering with him for over 2 years, helping him bring 8 people home, but more than that, helping his business grow and thrive. I felt that it was it wasn't like a wild conversation for me to have with him saying, hey, Jared, can I have a piece of the pie? But it wasn't like any piece of the pie. It was specifically the piece that had my face on it, the stickers and the pins, and not the whole piece, just a portion. And his response to me was very curt, very short. He didn't speak to me as a friend that I've known for 2 years. He spoke to me as a, let's end this relationship here and now. Best regards, Jared. In fact, those were his words. Let's end this relationship here and now. This 2-year friendship. I didn't know him before YouTube. I seen him on YouTube, and just like many of you, I reached out to him to volunteer. And I told him, hey, I've been doing search and recovery. I'm a rescue captain. I have these skills. I'd love.
How rude.
Yeah, to not even ask if you can put someone's face on pins and t-shirts. I mean, what if that person doesn't want, their face all like being sold to people? I mean, that's something you have to ask somebody. Like, I get if you're part of, like, I don't know, maybe sign something that said that it just goes that way, but I feel like that's something that you need to ask or get consent for, because you can't just put people's faces on pins and sell them and not ask them if that's okay. I don't know. That would make me uncomfortable. If they didn't ask me, I'd be upset too.
Love to put my skills, to use. And so, yeah, so that was my, introduction to Jared. And then after, years, I thought, man, maybe let's see if he respects me in this matter. But he said, no, he just dropped me. he dropped me hard and fast. And I was just like, wow. But I wasn't surprised, because in that time I'd seen him do that with many other people. And my hope in putting this out is actually, talking to you, Jared. I know you're watching this. I know your people are watching this, man. I love you, dude. I still love you. You're doing great things in the world, man. You have so much potential, so much capability. You're skilled, you're smart, you're brilliant, man. But you and I, man, we know where we're coming from here. We know our motives, but I don't know, just maybe try coming over to the motives of love, man. I'm telling you, brother, from me to you, man, I love you. And I hope that this will strike a chord with you. And I hope that, it'll help you level up and your people level up to where all that money can truly be used for good. Anyway, I don't know, what do you think, Dan? Do you think I covered everything?
Dan is the old videographer who was let go. And I just want to say that I did watch the live where he was let go. And it was horrible, because he brought him on the camera and he was like, you've done some great things for us. You've helped us reach new levels. Your work is great. You're really talented. And, but yeah, you've decided that it's time
for Dan go?
Well, no, Dan decided to leave.
Okay, so you're talking about
camera. Dan is the one who's sitting right next to.
All right. So did Sam leave? Like, did he leave, or did Jared make him leave?
Jared cut him off as soon as he asked for money for those t-shirts and pens that had his pictures on them. Jared cut him off.
Okay.
But then there's Dan video. He was their videographer. He was a great kid. He's a college kid. He had a girlfriend, and he spent a lot of time on the road with them. And, he was with them when they found bodies. So he went through a lot, just as much as the men did. And the way that Jared let him, said goodbye to him was so unprofessional. And it was like out with the old, in with the new, like right on camera. He was, gloating over him for a few minutes. And then he was like, but you're leaving. So I'm going to introduce Josh Cantu. And then he brought in the new videographer and like pushed Dan out of the picture and started asking questions of the new person. It was so unprofessional and rude. I felt bad.
Well, he even said he's just like, he doesn't have a very pleasant personality on camera either. Like he just, and the way that even Sam's saying it is like, do it with love, man. Like, do it.
Jared has
with
said it
like
himself. He's a cool guy. He tried to put Sam in the camera more when those two were working together, but Sam's not that kind of guy. He doesn't like having his face in the camera, and he doesn't like having to be forced to talk to the audience. So that didn't work out. But Jared knows he's an unlikable guy. Right after he's telling a family, I'm sorry you lost her. The car's being pulled out of the water, and Jared's already promoting shirts, t-shirts, and make sure you sub and subscribe, and you can super chat if you want to. We work off donations. It doesn't even give them a minute to mourn. And that's what Sam was saying.
Yep.
Yeah. Adventures with Purpose really, when I became a part, the first time I started working with them, on paper, it was the dream job for me. I really was attracted to everything they said to be, their mission, everything about it. But as time went on and we grew and we got bigger, it seemed like there was a big shift within, and with big numbers comes big money. And that's totally okay. But we maintain the same image of, hey, we're hardly making it. We're hardly going along the road. And that really just didn't sit well with me. I've had the last several months to reflect on all of this. And in that time, I've been able to realize that, yes, I left Adventures with Purpose because I was blown out. I was tired of working. But more than that, I really was struggling morally with how we were handling things.
I feel like I can relate to this kid so much right now.
Mm-hmm.
Like, say, like when people start getting popular and, like money starts coming in, a lot of people forget their morals or how to handle situations, or forget about taking care of their friends or whatever. And it just seems like, they started to feel that shift, and where it had changed to being like a fun thing with your friends to like a
work for free,
spend all these hours doing all this stuff, and not getting anything back in return.
Mm-hmm.
And it just sounds like that's they started feeling that shift in things and felt like they had to leave.
It didn't feel like the honest operation we once were. It seemed like we had an ulterior motive. And it took me a long time to fully come to terms with that and realize that I was a part of this. But truly, I do believe it is within my responsibility and Sam's responsibility to speak out about what we both felt. And yeah, before Sam had announced he was leaving AWP, I really didn't know if anyone else felt the way that I felt. So I never really said anything about how it was bothering me morally, what everything's turned into, how we are using people's suffering to just profit. That didn't sit well with me. And I think with time, with every video I made, it just more and more felt more routine, more like, hey, what can we do to make more money? Not what can we do to help more people? What can we do to make more money? What's the best business decision? Things of that sort. And I don't know. It's hard to talk about this type of thing.
Yeah.
But I definitely feel as though this needs to be said. This needs to be done because it's within Sam and I's responsibility. And I don't think either of us could live knowing what's going on behind the scenes. There's so many people being deceived, donating every month, thinking that this money is going towards AWP to keep them on the road. And yes, I'm sure some of it's going to that, but in my opinion, there seems to be a lot more than that coming in. A lot more. And it just hurts my heart to know that so many of these beautiful families we were helping.
Hey, Lynn. So in a nutshell, they weren't okay with Jared being a tragedy pimp, and they could feel the shift in him changing, and they didn't want to be part of it anymore.
Mm-hmm.
All right. All right, let me...
I mean, our contributing money
speed it
they
up, but
hardly
I'm afraid
have
it'll be
to
too
Adventures
fast.
with Purpose, thinking that this is like their way of contributing to something bigger than themselves. Same way people will contribute to their church, that type of thing. It feels like you're contributing to something greater than you. And for a lot of people, that means so much. And to know that people are living on this assumption of this is going towards a good thing, when in actuality, I think it's something that we should be skeptical about. I think people just deserve to know that there isn't this amount of honesty and integrity that initially appears with AWP and the way that they present themselves. And I think Sam and I are here to present that, just question things. And beyond just informing the people, I think really the main motive of this video is to encourage Jared, everyone that's a part of Adventures with Purpose currently, to question what does an honorable operation look like? What does a transparent operation look like? Is it a nonprofit? Or is it simply just saying, hey, please donate? Not all of this money is going towards AWP, but it's greatly appreciated if you do. We're doing good things.
Yeah.
And just really tell the full truth.
Yeah, I'm not against people making money. I'm not against people making a lot of money, but I am against people pretending to be broke and asking for money, and that's their vehicle to wealth. I'm not. That doesn't sit. That So yeah, and so to piggyback on Dan, same sentiment. What does an honorable operation look like? It's been proven that you can leverage YouTube and social media to be able to help people. With that being said, I'm just going to briefly touch on this here. I'll have another update soon, next week or so. But I'm actually in the process of putting my own gear together. I have a lot of things that have been donated to me. And so with that being said, I'm not going to let that gear go to waste. I have different people. There's Cooper, Cooper's Amputee Lifestyle, Kyler, my son, Renee, my girlfriend, Kevin Nomak. There's been many people that have reached out to me, that want to help. And so we're putting together a team. And so if you guys can find my email in the next video, I'll put my email link. This video here, there's no donations, no monetization, there's nothing. We just want to get this message out. For the next video, I'll have a link to my email. And I'd like, if you guys have any ideas on how to run this in a clean manner, because with YouTube and leveraging social media, which I'm not really good at, being a face man, but I could definitely put something together. What's a good way and using this platform, for good and true good. And how can I maintain, what's that word, social, where I want to be accountable. I want to be accountable, to the donors. I want to be accountable to the members. I don't want you to, yes, there is life that I'm going to have. I do need to pay my way, but at what point does that become too excessive? So that's going to be another conversation.
I mean, I doubt, well, his wife's probably upset. I mean, I don't know. Who knows if she even knew the extent of things, but I can't see her being too upset making all this money. You know what I mean? She's going to support his money-making scheme, I'm sure. You're sitting at home and he's bringing in money and not knowing exactly what he's doing. Although I think she's a lot involved. Didn't you say that she answered all your emails, Jen?
Yeah, I've reached out to them several times because I had ordered tons of the window breakers, seatbelt cutter items that they had in stock on their merch, and I spoke to her several times. She was very nice, but she answered every email that I sent. I never spoke with Jared.
Hey, Sabrina. Hey, that girl.
Hey, that girl.
Well, there's definitely not his whole family, but he definitely has a relationship with some of his family. Like his one sister clearly doesn't have a relationship, but sounds like.
Hey, Sabrina.
Sounds like he does. Like So I believe they're LDS, and he sounds like he's made it, or his sister, not his sister, maybe, I don't know if it was his sister or cousin who said it, but they said like the way that they live is like, if you repent for something that you did,
You'll
they'll
be
like, you'll be forgiven, and they'll act like it never happened.
right.
And I think, they didn't like that because, their own mother, the cousin's own mother forgave him for what he did to her. And, she had to feel betrayed to some extent when your own mother, who's supposed to have your back and protect you, forgives your abuser. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
That would be horrific to me. Yeah, and that prank clip with his other sister was so in bad, poor taste. It was just, and the clip where he's consoling the family and he's rubbing all over their legs, that made me so uncomfortable. Ugh. I don't know. I just feel like that's a really like,
It was gross. It was gross.
yeah, like I don't, stuff like that usually doesn't bother me, but like touching someone's leg is a really intimate spot. Like if I was upset and you gave me a hug or put your arm around me, I wouldn't think anything of it. But if you're like rubbing up and down my leg and you're not my husband, there's going to be like, I would not feel comfortable about that at all.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would never forgive a family like that, especially if they hurt my child. No way, no how. I'd never, no. Like, I'm going to probably beat the crap out of you if I see you ever again, and anytime you're in front of me if you did that to my kid. So, and I'm not a violent person, but I would be in that situation. All right, let me finish this. It's almost done.
In the future. But yeah, just like Dan said, what is accountable? And by no means do I want you guys to go over to AWP and start bashing. If anything, I feel like that they need encouragement. They need to be encouraged in the right way. I love those dudes, and I really, this was hard, but for me it just got too commercial, too commercial.
Mm-hmm. And that's our opinion.
Yes.
You are entitled to your own opinion. We're not making this video to seek what's the word? We're not trying to look morally superior by making this. That's the last thing we want. We just have struggled living, knowing what's going on.
It's been hard. I've been so anxious. The moment that me and Jared broke ties, I could feel like just this lift, this pressure just lifted off. I don't have to pretend. I don't have to be fake. I don't have to, put on a camera voice. I can be real. I don't have to, so it's the moment that, that broke. But with that being said, Jared, man, I love you and I have love for you. And I really would love to see, you going, in a positive way. And I hope you are successful with that. I wish you well and your family well. You're doing great things, but I hope that you can level it up. And if you have my phone number, where I live, if you ever need to reach out, let's talk. But brother to brother, it'd be wrong for me to not call you out on this. I tried in private, I tried amongst our group, and now this is the bigger group. But not only is this the bigger group, these people also, they needed to know what was going on, brother. Everybody makes mistakes. But let's see if we can get that back on track, or perhaps get it on track to begin with.
Yeah, this is the first time this has ever been done in the history of the universe. No one's ever had an AWP, so yeah. I think it's inevitable, being the pioneer of something, that mistakes are going to happen.
Yeah, man, you're brilliant, dude. You got it.
So, yeah,
I'm gonna end it there. But for anyone who just came in, this is Sam the Adventure Man. He worked hand in hand with Jared about a little over a year ago, and he wasn't making any money, and he didn't agree with Jared's tragedy pimping ways. In a nutshell, he felt like it went from being friends having fun, and then things started to get popular for them, and they started to get followers, and then all of a sudden Jared started getting big in the head, and he didn't like how he was exploiting cases for money and throwing cameras in people's faces. And, they felt that shift in Jared's personality when he started to become popular, and they didn't like it. And he they were working their asses off for free, and he wasn't paying them. And when he went to Jared and asked to be paid, especially because his face was on stickers and pins and things like that, Jared literally fired him and just like brought someone new in. And same with this guy who was a cameraman, he just fired him too because he didn't want to pay them. And
Yep.
yeah, and also the prank, I didn't play the prank video, but I talked about it. It was a very like distasteful prank that Jared pulled on Sam in this video, where Jared had his sister show up and pretend she was an AWP super fan and was trying to have a quickie with Sam, and Sam has a girlfriend, so he's really uncomfortable, and he was telling the girl like, no, I have a girlfriend. And the girl was like, come on, let's just go in my truck, it's right there. And then Jared pretended like he was doing it and walked in the trailer with the girl, and then they walked right out, and he was like, nah, I'm just kidding, man, like that's my sister, you know, and like joking. And it like now, like maybe it was funny then, but looking back on hindsight, and you're like, ugh, like that was weird. Yeah. A lot of people say that, Callie Glitter, that Jared just was not very likable on camera, and that, you know, just he was like something felt off about him.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, they all left. Josh Cantu left, Doug left. Chaos Divers, like, were kind of colleagues of him. They said they're no longer working with them. What's Britt's channel name again? The Depths of History?
History.
Yeah, Depths of History. They, same kind of situation. They said they were denouncing him. And this is Sam's video from a year ago talking about how he wasn't okay with, you know, Jared being a tragedy pimp pretty much, and that he couldn't do it no more. And that once he got big and got popular, he changed, and they felt it, and they weren't okay with it. And he said that Jared had a lot of money, but he would pretend like he was broke and say, oh, I can't afford tires, we can't afford this, you know, pay us under, you know, but he wasn't paying any of them. So he was making a lot of money and acting like he was poor and that they needed to pay to do this.
That's awful.
Yeah. All right, I'll play. So Nugs, was it exploring something? We just watched it. Exploring with Nug. Here we go. I'm not going to play this whole thing because it was super long. I'm just going to play like the beginning for his statement, kind of, and then I will, if there's any other like things that I feel like need to be said, I will add in there. But I'm probably going to play just like the first 10 minutes. I know what you meant, Callie.
What is going on, guys? This is going to be a very different live because something, obviously, you guys know what's going on. If you don't, let me give you a quick glance into what's been going on. But you can definitely Google search this. But last Friday is when I found out that Jared from Adventures with a Purpose has been indicted on 2 counts of first-degree felony. And we're not going to use the words because I don't want to hear, you know, I don't know how the guidelines are with YouTube, but child R, you know what I'm saying? And of all things that could have happened, you know, like it's just, I don't even know. Because I'm actually really nervous about this live stream because this is just something totally new. It's very serious. It's very, it's horrible. It's like a pure act of evil. And it's just unbelievable how manipulated and how, shocked and how like all of us were just gut punched when we found out about this. It's just I couldn't even believe it, you know. But see, I've already spun off control there. But while we're getting started, let's let some more people file in. Tell me if the audio's good. I got Candace with me. She's running the behind the scenes.
Candace is his wife, right?
You guys have.
Yes.
And I guess you guys can see me good. I'm sorry. I get nervous. I get ticked. I just like I'm chewing nails, whatever. But so everything's good. Everybody in the chat room says we're good. Okay, very good. Well, like I said, in a nutshell, Jared's been indicted on 2 charges, very serious charges. that come with some very serious time. And like so many other people that heard about this, like when I first heard about it, of course I thought like, that's gotta be crap. Like it can't be true. There's no way this is true. This is like the worst possible thing anybody could do ever, like it's a horrible thing. And so at first, for a split second, I was defensive for Jared. And then I quickly started noticing all the evidence with the emails that apparently he was writing back and forth to his cousin, who is the victim in all of this. The first victim, come to find out. And once I read all of those, there's really no way you can you can't read those and talk your way out of that. Like those are your words, and nowhere in these emails did he deny anything. It was disgusting to read, and I felt nauseated. And then all the live streams started coming out about Jared being indicted, and I jumped into all of these live streams, and I just wanted to watch because like I was literally in a state of just shock, like anybody else, because this guy that I thought I knew of, like I started following him on YouTube when he was like 7,000 subs maybe, and like I only had like maybe 1,000 subs, and I started following him, just doing goofy river treasure videos. And that's how we connected, and we stayed in touch ever since, built a friendship through YouTube, and then he had his break, with videos taken off, and then, and our channel just kept growing, and we, then he got into cars, and I was fascinated by all of this, and, we stayed in touch and grew and stayed close, and he shared secrets, work-related secrets towards, like how to pull.
So they've been friends for a long time. If he had like 7,000 followers when they started talking, it sounds like they've been friends for like a really long time. Can you imagine being friends with this guy for that long and then texting him and saying like, hey man, I got your back, like what's going on? And he says the emails are my statement. Like what the heck? That's crazy to me.
Cars out, what he's learned, diving stuff, all kinds of stuff like that, and he taught me, about, SEO, search engine optimization, about YouTube, how it's a search engine, keywords, all this stuff, all these little things, to help you grow. And so I looked at Jared as a friend, a mentor. I thought I was duped, and I thought he was a straight up guy. And I know that the word alleged is getting thrown around, and I know everybody has their opinion, everybody has their beliefs, and you're allowed to, and that's great. I believe that the whole innocent until proven guilty thing only goes so far when you pretty much have a written confession back and forth between the victim and the predator. I don't see that. Like, and then the fact that he's been quiet. I haven't heard a peep out of this guy. His former team came out today, and very emotional videos came out. They're trying their best to explain this, what's going on and what they're doing. They're locked up in some crap contracts, which I think is useless as the papers are probably written on, for the main fact that I'm sure there's no fine print in these. There's no way a contract can protect somebody from talking about criminal activity. I couldn't imagine what a contract would hold up in court, so just like, but I understand why they're not talking, like the whole under contract thing. These are working class, these are real humans, with real families, got to pay the bills. And if they did get sued because of this breach of contract, then, it's just more money that they would have to spend on lawyers and stuff like that. So I get why they're talking about it. And obviously this live stream is going to be me rambling and just spinning off, because essentially I wanted to reach out to you guys, as everybody should in this community, who has been part of searching for missing people, who have worked with Jared, who have really any knowledge in this, or have no knowledge of this, but just want to share their input on it. They should speak out. But let's see, let's go way back to
I like how this guy is like so straightforward. Well, this guy didn't really have a contract with him. This guy's kind of like just his friend and colleague. They did, some videos together, but he was never part of like the AWP team. So he's not contractually obligated to say anything. So he's being compared to Doug and Josh's statement. He does not care. He's just like, yeah, this is the deal. This is what's up. And I ain't cool with it. And I was, he lied to me.
Mm-hmm.
And and he doesn't hold back. It's long. Like I said, I'll play probably like 10, maybe a little longer than that, but nuggified. Yeah, he instead of nullified, nuggified.
So far to control, I don't know where to go back to, but
some people have made comments already at the beginning of the live saying that there isn't proof.
Here's the thing, the proof thing is where I'm like, the emails, that's all the proof I needed to be, convinced that this is not fabricated. And on top of that, somebody also said, well, these emails could be fabricated. Somebody could have wrote these. Jared couldn't have, he didn't write these, stuff like that. But Jared has already said that his official statement is the emails back and forth between him and his cousin.
This is important.
I got that text from him because I reached out to him and I was like, hey, I heard about what's going on. I want you to know, because this is before I knew anything. And I thought he was my friend. So I told you, I sent him a text. I was like, hey, I heard what's going on, dude. I got your back if you need anything. That was me, my first reaction, because I thought maybe I had a friend getting railroaded. But that's me jumping the gun too fast before I knew what the hell was going on. And that was dumb on my part. But he did write back, very generic message saying, my official statement is what I wrote back and forth to my cousin. That's public on Reddit. So anybody could read these.
I want to know, when was it committed? How old was he? Why wasn't this brought up before?
When was he committed?
When did this happen? Like, how long ago? Almost 30 years ago.
The act that he did.
With the cousin, with others.
Yes. There's this, man, okay, the question, how long ago was this? A long time, about 30 years ago. The story is, from what I've been hearing, the victim was 9 and Jared was 17. There's
multiple events. So more than once.
More than one time attacking the cousin.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And so that's what I heard on that. I also listened to lots of these, what do you call them? These live streams. And I listened a 2-hour live stream where Jared's sister was on there. And after listening to essentially her life story, I mean, it was heartbreaking. What she had to endure her whole life.
The manipulation.
I mean, it started as a child. And she claims that, she was also abused by Jared. The problem with that one is, I think, man, I couldn't even explain that. And I don't want us to try to explain it and mess it up, but I implore you guys to go just watch some of these live streams where she was a guest, because she does not hold back. She is a survivor and she wants everybody to know the story of her brother. So she tells it way better than I could. And she's been in a lot of these chat rooms. She might be in this chat room today. Her name's Jessica. It's like Jessica, but with a CH. And her story is heartbreaking. She drew a bad card in life and she survived. And I congratulate her on that, because not a lot of people would have made it through what she did. And that's a completely side story, but it does revolve back to this huge, would you call it a scandal of what's going on now with Jared?
Absolutely called a scandal.
There's alleged multiple victims. There's and it's nuts. This is the nuttiest thing. Could you imagine, like, you have like just a complete fabrication, but you have a best friend that's more than your best friend, because you guys have been through hard times, and like it's more like a brother thing. Like my best friend, I know everything about him. People like, we take a bullet for each other, and then find out that 30 years ago your best friend that you would die for did something like this to a child. It is a feeling of just like of complete, you just ripped a chunk of your body off, and you're just like, oh, what? And that's what everybody's feeling, not just me. So what you got?
And explain to the chat, you had to recently change your password to get in. I don't remember what you changed it to. I can't slow down the chat.
So
type a new password.
What?
Just how horribly disappointing it is.
Yeah, it's super disappointing. And I also want everybody to know, just so you know exactly where I stand. What has happened to Jared's cousin, to Jared's sister, and to any other victims out there is unforgivable. There is no rehabilitation. There is no forgiving. There is no, he's grown as a person. It's been 30 years. Look at all the great things he's done. None of that matters when it comes down to what you did in the past that was this horrible. After listening to his sister, man, I'm convinced between the emails and the sisters, live stream that she did that this is bad for Jared, and he's over. He's done. This everything is done. What he created, done. AWP, it's forever tarnished. He created that channel. It's his channel. I don't know the whole behind the scenes with him signing over CEO and all this stuff.
Yeah, there's a lot of Reddit threads out there.
There's lots of stuff that I don't have facts on, so I can't really say for a fact that I know. I've heard that he signed it over to somebody else. I don't know that for a fact, but I don't think it really.
So that's basically it in a nutshell, but I think it's so important that he texts Jared, right? And he said, hey man, I got your back. If there's anything I can do, before he knew out all the details, because he didn't believe it. He's like, my friend, he would never do that. And then Jared said to him, my statement is what I said in the emails that are in the public Reddit forum. So Jared basically said the emails are real. I mean, we've all been wondering. I mean, we've all been pretty sure they were real, but being very in a nutshell. Yes, in a nutshell. All these puns tonight. I'm enjoying
Good one. Yes, love dad jokes.
In a nutshell.
Okay, will you post down the rabbit hole news for the people who haven't seen the interview with the sister?
Oh yeah, I'll post the link for it. The interview's kind of long, so I'm just gonna post the link for it. But down the rabbit hole, she did an interview with hold on. I think it's this one. Yeah. She does an interview with the sister. I know a lot of people have seen it already, but just in case you haven't, there's the link. She did an interview with the sister and the cousin, and they tell their story. And it's heartbreaking. It's terrible. They've basically been shunned from their family because they've forgiven him, and they haven't had their back. And I believe when they got all right, so when they were interviewed, when the police went to go interview them to ask what happened, they were like, I don't remember. Acted like they didn't even remember. They didn't even have their backs or nothing. It's just terrible. Ugh, makes me sick. But
hey, she did a great job interviewing.
Yeah, she did.
Both of them.
She did it, and they said that there's all that she wants is justice. There's no civil case in it. She's not trying to get money, and if she does get money, I hope she does. I hope she sues the living crap out of him and gets a bunch of money from it. I really do. But she says that's not what she wants. But even if she does, I don't blame her. Take his damn money. You deserve it for all you've been through in your life. Yep. But what is that damn noise? My computer keeps going. Doo-doo-doo-doo. I don't know why it's doing it.
Play part of Upchurch's response.
Yeah, we'll play. I'll play Dietz's video of Upchurch. So guys,
I'll be right back.
Okay.
Yeah, you don't have to play the whole thing, Kate. Just part of it. Because it's kind of long, and he rambles.
Yeah, I'm gonna play the short one that she has. I think doesn't she have a short the short one that? I'll play that
yes,
one.
he does. He did have a short one.
There's Deet's link to her channel. She's a great clip channel, by the way, guys. So if you're don't feel like watching a whole show and you just want to get the important parts of it, Deet's always has the good parts. Always. Here we go. Hold on. Should be saving me from watching 3-hour-long videos all the time. All right, here we go, y'all.
All right, so Who has seen all the shit about Jared from AWP? Oh, I'm great. I'm fucking great. When you don't lie, you get to live life great. When you're not a fucking freak and a weirdo, you can live life great. No, you haven't. Okay, well, you know, apparently he fucking raped a fucking 9-year-old girl when he was fucking 17 years old. No, everybody's talking about it right now. There's documents, bro. There is people coming out telling their stories and all this shit. And I feel fucking goddamn betrayed by this fucking Jarrett dude. I don't know this motherfucker, but I know I seen him pulling cars out of motherfucking water and doing something good. And I seen that he had a donation thing. So, you know, me being Upchurch, you know, they're seeing people do some good shit, you know, and this being his fucking whole shit, this Jared dude, I donated $100,000. Jared's the one that you don't ever fucking see, and that's why you don't see him, I guess. Yeah, his sister and his cousin. Who is he? He's the guy that runs AWP. Any proof? Yeah, dude. There's documents and stuff. Hey, this shit's people been talking about this for days. Don't be. Oh, is it true? Hey, I sit back and I watch and I wait for shit to come out so I can see if it's true because the whole internet's full of shit anyway, right? Well, this has actual fucking documents. This has motherfucking emails. And apparently it was more than one person. Yeah, dude. You know what I was doing when I was 17? I was chasing fucking 37-year-old MILFs. I was trying to get into bars. And you know what? I feel bad for the fucking people that was working around him that didn't know this shit. So, Jared, I'm not going to drag this out. I ain't got time for this fucking shit. But here's what I do know. I know that I donated 100,000 motherfucking dollars to your motherfucking company, cuz all I know is I donated $100,000 to your shit because you was out here, oh, we're helping people, this, that, and the other. That's fine. Y'all was. But you're a fucking weirdo, Jared. And I read the fucking emails when you was messaging back your cousin. I read them. And you're over here talking about, well, you know what? What's in the past is in the past. And I hope we can grow from this. Yo, fuck you, dude. If I ever see you, I'm gonna knock you the fuck out, dude. For real. I ain't scared of you, dog. I mean, look what kind of person you are. You don't scare nobody. Nobody over here, cuz. All right, here's what I know. Here's what the fuck I know, Jared. I want my $100,000 back, you fucking weirdo. Fuck your legal team. I don't give a fuck about your legal team. What are you gonna do? Oh, I'm gonna cease and desist, man. Cease and desist these motherfucking nuts, cuz. Cease and desist these motherfucking nuts.
Sorry. He says cease and desist.
The way that you replied to your cousin or whatever that you did the weird shit to.
Like he does not care whatsoever.
No, he does not hold back. Oh, here, I'll send you the link, Jen, if you want to come back up. He said, cease and desist these nuts, cuz.
Well, I heard he gave them a choice between the car and $100,000.
Well, I imagine he contacted them and said, you know, how do I send this money? Who does it go to? Whatever. And Jared was like, send it to me. You know, I'm the CEO. I run this, blah, blah, blah. And, you know, he sent it to Jared. And I sadly don't think he'll get his money back, but I hope he does. I would be fucking pissed if I donated $100,000 to some guy thinking he's a good dude, and then I found out about this shit. I'd be pissed.
Yeah, Ryan doesn't care about lawsuits or having him saying stop talking about him. Like he doesn't care.
I would be pissed. I mean,
that's
a lot of freaking money. You could buy a house with that much money.
And you know, Ryan probably has a good legal team too.
Oh yeah, well, for sure. If he claimed it as a charitable donation, can he get it back? I don't know. I don't think he would be able to get it back. I mean, it's probably long gone by now. I'm sure that $100,000 went to Jared's new house or whatever. But $100,000, you know, you could buy with $100,000. That's a lot of freaking money. I don't know. I've never even seen $100,000 all in one chunk. You know what I mean? Over time, yeah. But $100,000 is a lot of freaking money. I would be furious if I donated $100,000 to some dude who did that, and I would do whatever I had to do to get my money back, I would be mad. I would be really mad. But if you really think about it, $100,000, it might not be a lot to him, but it's still a lot of freaking money.
Yeah, bitch, better have my money. I want my money.
Right? Exactly. That's crazy. All right, let me finish some of them.
Give a fuck if it was 100 fucking years later, motherfucker. It don't matter. You still done that shit. You still done it. It don't matter, bro. It don't matter if it's 1,000 years later. You still done it. Yeah, he's been indicted and everything, y'all. And I want my $100,000 back, you little bitch. That's all I'm gonna say. Fuck your fucking legal team.
Yeah, he did another live after that. Going a little more in depth, but it was a little longer, so I'm not gonna play it. But he's pissed, and I would be pissed too. I would be just as freaking mad. Like, I can't even imagine. Yeah, he probably donated as a tax write-off. I mean, it's going to go to, if it didn't go to his house, it's going to his legal fees. I'll tell you that much. I don't think he'll get that back.
Well, I thought he just bought that second house like 2 days ago.
I thought I don't know. Hold on. I can
Or
look
was
it
it
up.
2 months? I mean, the rumor mill is rampant around here, so it could be 2 months ago for all I know.
It's bringing a lot of idiots out.
Yeah.
With this whole Jared situation.
And look, for anyone, I know there's people who are like, oh, I get he's innocent until proven guilty or whatever, but let's be real. He's basically admitted to his best friend that the emails are his statement and that they're real. So,
which sucks when
emails
going to get pulled in as a witness. I guarantee you.
So now that we know the emails are real, you know what that means? He admitted it in the emails.
Mm-hmm.
He literally admitted it. So it's real. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't get any realer than that. They're real. So if you were doubtful before, then all right, I got the address on. If you're doubtful before, you shouldn't be doubtful now, because I get he hasn't been convicted yet, but he's basically admitted it.
You know, this guy's so hot up for money that he had found a car that was in the water for like 30 something years. He had it towed to his driveway, and he took it apart in his driveway piece by piece, welding, cutting, sawing, and sold the pieces. He did like a online auction and sold the pieces to it.
I can't believe it.
Took it apart in his driveway. I watched it and I was like, this is insane. Clearly before they were big, he did that. You should tell the ice cream story, Kate.
Roll Tide, I think AWP is.
Oh yeah, that he didn't have any money on him, so he sold the glasses that he found in the water, right? Isn't that what he said?
He bought a pair of sunglasses that he found in the water to get ice cream for him and his daughter.
Yeah, that's crazy.
It was on a live. It was funny. He's lucky he had a young kid in the truck, because I'm sure anyone else would have been like, no, dude, $1.25. I think he gave him like a pair of Oakleys too. There was a nice pair of glasses.
Jesus. So this is his house. Doesn't it look like it's like a community center? Like, look at the front. It's got an old wagon and like a American flag pole here. Look at that view. Wow. Look at that freaking view. That's his view at the top of the hill.
Donations, people. All those donations.
Yeah, this is what he got.
$50 house.
Look at this house.
It's $1 million.
It's a little over $1 million house. He spent a little over $1 million on this.
And he paid cash.
Yep.
Wow. Just wow. It wouldn't be so bad if he was paying his men.
You think all that land is his too? All that green right there?
Didn't do it. I don't know.
If that is all his land, that's crazy. There's his driveway, which it has like a guest house here too.
Cut it out.
Yeah, look. You can see it right here. See it?
That's ridiculous.
It's got a freaking guest house.
Is that a pool?
No, it's like the pavement.
Oh.
It's got a garage. Like, here's a bedroom.
I wouldn't know what to do if I lived in a house like that.
I do. I'd be like, where's the butler? I'm hungry.
Right? Look at that living room. The high ceiling. It's a little outdated, but it's still a beautiful home. With a few little touch-up, that thing would be beautiful. It's got that cabin vibe. Look, there's an office, dining room. They got a bunch of hot sauce heaters outside.
I do feel bad for his wife if she had like no idea this was
coming. I'm gonna tell you when he bought it. Hold on. Does it say? $1.14 million. That's how much. It was sold 3 months ago. So, what? It's not October, September, August. Right when the Kylie Rodney stuff happened. He probably made all that money and was like, whoa, let's go get a house. That's crazy. That's crazy. Did you see that house? That is crazy. And he has another house. That's his second house, supposedly. $1.14 million. And he goes along telling people that he's broke and they need money to donate, that they can't continue on their work without donating. Like, yes, you could. You could definitely do it. Oh, we lost Jen. Well, I'm going to hop down anyway because I've been on for like 2 hours and 11 minutes.
His kid probably goes to a private school, too.
Oh, yeah.
Kate, stop kicking me.
I'm not kicking you.
You're kicking me. Stop it.
I'm going to hop down anyway, though, because I've been up here for like 2 hours and 15 minutes. So,
well, thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming up and explaining all of it because you know a lot more than I do about all this.
No, not really.
I appreciate your knowledge. Well, I mean, about each particular person. And I always appreciate you coming up.
Well, thank you.
And yes, Jen has a channel.
I do.
What?
I do.
What do I have you under? I can't remember. Jen Sharp.
Hooligan.
I know what your channel is. I was saying, what do I have you
I thought it was
as?
the exclamation hooligan.
Oh, it might be. Hold on. Let me see. I'm gonna get it. Oh, there it goes. It worked. Okay. It was Jen.
Whoopsie.
It worked.
Thanks, Lynn.
That's Jen's link. Check Jen out. And thanks for coming up, Ryan.
Bye, Ryan. Have a good night.
Yeah.
Y'all are welcome. Just Jen. All right. All right. Well, good night, everyone. Thank you for coming. And if you didn't see the beginning, rewind. I have all the statements in one spot. So it's a little easier to get to them if you don't want to go from channel to channel. I've played not through like the whole thing, but to get the whole point. But good night, everyone. See ya. What's tonight? I'll be back probably Friday or either Thursday or Friday. Thanks, Johnny. Thanks. All right. Good night, everyone. Love y'all. Thanks, Jen. You too. She said, I will rewind. Yeah, all the statements are in there, Lynn, so you'll get to check them all out. All right. Bye, y'all.